Good evening. Welcome to the City of Calabasas Environmental Commission meeting, Zoom version, June 23rd, 2020. Can we have a call to order and do a roll call? You'll have to unmute your button to let us know that you're here, starting with Noah, Philip.
State your name first.
Philip Cardona, present.
Other commissioners?
Okay. Noah,
Noah Weiss, present.
Zachary,
Zachary Rossoff, present.
Martha,
Martha Fritz, present.
Julie,
Julie Scheisel, present.
Beth,
Beth Jagtiani, present.
okay, and Whitney Schwartz, present. All right, Zachary, can we have you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. All right, please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance
To the
to
flag
the flag of the United States
of
of
America, and to the
and to the
republic
republic
for which it
for which it
stands,
stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and
Liberty and justice for all.
Can we get an approval of the agenda back?
For December 3rd or February 11th? Oh, of the agenda. I'd like to make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so moved. Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of December 3rd, 2019.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the December 3rd. So can I get an approval of the minutes of December 3rd, 2019?
We had a motion.
I second that motion.
Okay.
Who seconded the motion?
I do. Alex, Beth.
Who?
And who
Please
seconded
state
that?
your name.
Beth Jagtiani seconds that
Beth
motion.
seconded the motion, okay. Any discussion?
And opposed? Okay, so moved. Can I get an approval of the minutes for February 11th?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes from the February 11th, 2020 meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
I have discussion.
You want to pose?
I have a little discussion. I wasn't at that meeting and it said that I formed a subcommittee for the Earth Day celebration, which I'm fine taking on, but I wasn't there.
It was
think we might have
recommended
done
that
that.
you do so while you were absent, but the
Perfect.
Earth Day
I'm
didn't
okay.
happen, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Then so moved.
Aye.
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 Okay, I wasn't there. Okay, so moved.
How many yes, how many nays? How many voted yes? State your name.
Julie
Yes.
Scheisel.
Yeah. Aye,
Martha
Philip
Fritz.
Cardona.
And Martha.
Beth Jagtiani.
So we have 4 yeses and 1 abstain. Great, thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the mission statement. Noah, would you like to read the mission statement?
Sure, let me just pull it up. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
Should I ask?
Oh, I have it. Don't worry. The mission of the Environmental Commission of the City of Calabasas is to advise the City Council regarding the stewardship of our environment as it affects the character of the community and the quality of life of our residents. We strive to balance those elements that influence the degree to which our community sustains its social, economic, and physical environment while maintaining and enhancing our natural and cultural resources.
Wonderful. May I request that everybody who is not speaking keep their mic on mute because there's a lot of outside noise I'm hearing. Okay, so now it's time for our oral communication and public comment. Members of the public wishing to address the City Council during public comment or during a specific agenda item, please press raise hand if you're doing the Zoom. And press *9 if you are joining via phone.
We have one comment. I received one email from Randy Falish. She wanted to make a comment. Please read the second paragraph of oral communication.
Okay, under the provisions of the California Government Code, the Commission is prohibited from discussing or taking action on any unagendized item unless it can be determined to be of an emergency nature or the need to take action arose after the posting of the agenda.
Right. And the public comment is limited to 3 minutes. Do we have Randy on Zoom? Randy Falish?
I don't see, but.
She said she was having a hard time getting on.
You have 2 persons in the audience raise hands now.
Okay, well.
If there's someone who has a hand up and I don't see it, can someone else?
Yeah,
tell me?
you have to click on.
First on the Randy, second one's Christian.
If you click on participants and then go to attendees, you'll see people raising their hand. Participants is on the bottom in the middle.
Okay, and then is Randy here trying to speak?
Yeah, she is there. Do you want me to push chat for her?
Yes, can you hear me?
Is it under staff? If not, somebody
Can you
else.
hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, Randy. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'm here. Should I go ahead now?
Yes, please. You have 3
Okay.
minutes.
3 minutes. I won't be even 3 minutes, but good evening, commissioners. This is Randy Filish. I'm a Calabasas Park resident since 1992. I also serve as a district leader, volunteer for Humane Society United States, and I'm the Southern California representative for Project Coyote. In 2013, I worked with what was then called Malibu Agricultural Society, now known as Poison Free Malibu. We worked to pass Resolution 2013-1379 in the City of Calabasas, opposing the sale, purchase, and use of anticoagulant rodenticides. After Malibu and Calabasas, we went on to 17 other cities to pass it. On December 9th last year, we took it one step further in Malibu, passing an ordinance outlawing all herbicides and rodenticides in their city of Malibu. Unfortunately, since 2013, despite repeated requests, there's been little to no action, education, enforcement, or even awareness that Calabasas even has a rodenticide resolution, evidenced by the proliferation of black boxes filled with rat poison everywhere. In the past 7 years since we passed the resolution, many businesses never rid themselves at all of those black boxes. And when they are asked about them, they said they didn't even know this was an issue or don't know anything about the dangers to wildlife and that what these boxes represent and dangers that they represent. I did make progress along with the co-founder of Poison Free Calabasas, Christine Renaud, by going to Caruso affiliated at the Commons, who said they would no longer allow these boxes. But you know, countless mountain lions, hawks, owls, and other predatory and scavenging birds are all, and other wildlife are all dying due to these poisons for the last 7 years since we've had this resolution. And last year, the Calabasas anticoagulant rodenticide education plan was discussed, and I'm very grateful to Whitney and Beth. I know that they're the new commissioners, but it just seems as if that nothing is moving forward. And like I said, they're new on this commission, and I'm grateful to them. But I know that we also have some long-time commissioners that nothing's happened. And, you know, I think that people and businesses, whether they be homeowners associations. I mean, we went ahead and we banned it in our own association here in Calabasas, and we use Propel, a non-toxic repellent. And I know I've been coming to you guys for years now, and I feel like a broken record. And for the younger kids on there, the record, like a 45 record. But, you know, I feel like a broken record playing it over and over again, saying the same
10
message.
seconds.
But the bottom line is, nobody knows that we have a resolution here in Calabasas. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Okay, next on our agenda item is commissioners' comments. Do any commissioners have anything to say?
Raise your hand so we can unmute you.
Okay, Martha first, please.
Well, I just want to respond a little bit to what Randy just said, since I'm one of the longer term commissioners on here. And I would say we have done quite a lot. What you've seen maybe on your end is not the results that you want. And I commend you for being vigilant and going to all those different cities and keeping your focus. I think I will let Julie Sobel summarize what we've done while we're bringing on this commission, because she can tell you, because we've been doing it in tandem. And I think I always supported everything you said, Julie, and you supported me, and we supported Alex. So from our perspective, we've done quite a lot. I think there's a lot more that can be done on the issue. And I would ask you to come back and give us a list of things you think we should be doing that we're not. So that's one of my comments. And the other is that I want to just welcome everyone to this Zoom meeting, and how it's really strange. I miss the camaraderie of us being in the beautiful Calabasas City Hall, but I'm glad that we're pivoting to this new format so that we can continue to take up the issues of the day.
Great. Thank you, Martha. I appreciate your input. Beth, did you have something to say?
I did. Thank you, Whitney. I wanted to apologize for not being at the last meeting. I missed you guys. And to talk about CARE and where it's at right now as far as what we know. So we made a motion to pass it on to the city council, and they know that, and it's there. I've been talking to Fred Gaines about that. So that's a step. What we made in our last meeting was a motion for the Raptor poles to be installed throughout the city. And we're in discussions about if we decide where it is, if the city planners decide, and how exactly that will be implemented. I mean, change is slow, unfortunately, but it's still there. It's still happening. And I've become quite close with Carolyn Tricchino of Poison Free Agora. So I'm included in all their links and getting all the information from them as far as webinars they've had. I attended one recently, and I can share some notes from that. It was really interesting. She had a guest speaker. And so like we have the education continuing, at least in our commission, and figuring out ways to get it out there. So it's not a forgotten cause. I know yesterday I was at the post office and I cringed because I saw one of those black boxes again. And it just seems like they're not going away yet. So it's still present, and I just wanted to say that. And I wanted to thank Martha too for the last time when I wasn't here. I read the minutes that you mentioned talking to Waste Management about this rodenticide issue as well, and having some ideas that way. Because I've kind of been focusing more on like the owl boxes and raptor poles, but it's like a collaboration of minds. And so thank you for that.
Okay, thank you. Any other commissioners have something to say? Noah, it's your turn.
I just wanted to say that since the last time that we met back in February, which is just crazy how long ago that was, the Roots and Shoes Club, we got a lot done. Like actually, like right before we went into quarantine, we were able to install the drip irrigation system, and we planted 53 California native plants. And I went back last week and I saw it, and the plants have grown big. The garden looks great, and we applied and we earned the National Wildlife Federation the certified wildlife habitat. signs. So those will be coming soon. And I don't know how that's going to work. Like, we kind of want to do like a little ceremony type thing. And we also did a virtual Earth Week for Earth Day. So we had like different actions that people would post on their Instagram stories, and then we shared them to an account. So we had Meatless Monday, where people would share like their vegetarian and vegan foods. And then we had Trash Tuesday, which didn't go as planned. Like, we wanted people to post photos of them wearing outfits made out of trash. That didn't go too well. And then we did, what was Wednesday?
It was originally Wear Green Wednesday, but then we changed it to just post a nature photo because it was actually like Earth Day. That was that Wednesday. And so we thought that would be a much better theme.
Yeah, and then we did Throw Out Rodenticides Thursday, and Zachary made and gave an amazing presentation all about rodenticides, and that can be found on the Calabasas Roots and Shoots Instagram as an IGTV video. And then Friday, what was Friday?
Friday, it was going to be about energy and like how you're being sustainable. But then we changed it to just like your favorite hike photo or just you out in nature and your favorite walk or something like that. That's what we changed it to.
Yeah, so we tried staying engaged during these challenging times, and I thought it was successful. Like, there's so many different, like, I think being home, like, it's given me,
More, a few seconds left.
okay, it's just given me like so many ideas, and I think all of us have had a lot of time to brainstorm and grow.
See it. Okay, so next we have Christine Renaud. Oh, Julie. So we're going to have Julie speak first. I'm sorry, Christine. First, let Julie speak.
Hang on real quick. I just wanted to do some commissioners' comments, and I wanted to say it is hard being away from everybody. Would love to be able to be right there in City Hall having this meeting and feeling all of that energy. I hope everyone and their families and friends are all doing well during this nightmare, that we will make it through it. And Noah, yay! I'm so happy. Okay, for one thing, for the National Wildlife designation, and in just acknowledging how repetition and keep going, plodding forward. Martha, okay, can you believe they got the drip system installed?
Amazing.
Do you know how many years Martha has been kind of pushing and pulling with all of that? And then you got it done, Noah. Awesome. Thank you so much. Woo, so excited. Oh, that just made my day, my week, my month, my COVID-19.
Here with her, I agree. That's quite an accomplishment, Zachary.
I would like to add that it was probably a year ago that we were, I don't even know how long ago it was, when we had a subcommittee meeting in one of the side offices of the city, and some young girls from the high school came and said how upset they were about what that trail's infamous name was. And from that time, fast forward to now, you, Noah, you led an amazing project that is an absolute legacy project. It will never be referred to what it was once referred to. I believe it's called the Senior Trail. If you have a ceremony and rename it, regardless, it is a space that brings so much peace and calm to any student that needs a little bit of nature. And I hope Zachary and Noah, you all like embrace that for the rest of your life, that will always be there. And it's an extraordinary thing to know you were a part of. So next we'd like to also, for oral communication, we did have Christine Renaud, who I believe lost her communication. So we're gonna invite her back for 3 minutes.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
You have 3 minutes, thank you.
Okay. Hi, Christine Renault. I'm a resident of Calabasas, 30-something years. I've raised my 2 children here through all the Las Virgenes school system. I've been a Malibu State Creek Park docent for many years. And I've worked with children, not only in the Las Virgenes school district, but I've also taught children at the Malibu State Creek Park. The reason, and I'm also the founder of Poison Free Calabasas. I've been attending as many meetings as I can, and Randy and I, Randy Filish Hirsch, we work together on trying to talk to our city in reference to the rodenticide use that is so widely used throughout our whole communities. And thank you so much for everybody putting in all your hard time and effort and work into the city of Calabasas. But being a resident here for so many years and knowing and understanding our geographical area, especially with our wildlife and all of that, I will say that I am greatly disappointed in the city dragging their feet. I know that we've had a couple of new commissioners coming on board, Whitney and another one, but Alex, you've been on this for such a long time, and I have seen absolutely nothing being done. The ordinance that has been in place, I've spoken to you a couple of times, and you told me flat out, there's nothing more that can be done. And I will not accept that. I just cannot accept that. The statement for our city of Calabasas is that we need to protect our city, our area where we live, including on our environmental area where we live. And I really strongly believe we have a lot to be desired to, because again, the geographical area where we live, we're completely surrounded by the Santa Monica Mountains. And I see there has been nothing done by the city of Calabasas to help educate our businesses, our private HOAs, our residents in regard to the ordinance that has been put in place. Businesses, residents, they are not aware how dangerous rodenticide is, and there has been nothing done. Even sending out that ordinance letter to all the businesses, it should be released annually. And I go around.
You have 30 seconds left.
I go around picking up dead rats. You could see the bleeding, blood coming out of their mouths because of the rodenticide. I don't want our animals getting to it. And I'm just asking, let's please do something about it. We've put into the non-smoking, we've put into the plastic straws, the bags. This is our home. This is our environment. I think we need to step up and do something a lot more. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so next on the agenda is our presentation for the Carl Gibbs Environmental Excellence Award to Dr. Katie Delaney. And I believe Martha is going to say some words to let us know a little bit more about her.
Well, I'd like to welcome Katie and just thank you for all of your extensive dedication to helping the red-legged frog. One of the things that impressed me about what you've been doing is when you came to our environmental forum last year after the wildfires, and you talked about the struggles of the red-legged frog and how the wildfires had impacted the reintroduction of the species because the mudslides slide into their water holes, and they need, all these facts were interesting. They need, maybe it's 18 inches or 30 inches, whatever it was, of water that they can breed in, and then they have all these challenges. And I think it's really helpful when the public starts to understand the challenges of what it takes to reintroduce a species like this. And so I was impressed by that, but also by how long you've been working at this and how many obstacles you've had My understanding is that it was in the 1970s that the red-legged frog went extinct from our local streams, and that you had to go to Simi Valley to find the eggs and then hatch them in the Santa Barbara Zoo. And it's just a long, long and quite incredible story. So it's not to be taken lightly, and I thought who better to receive our award. So I wanted to applaud your efforts, and I know you're well deserving, so thank you.
Okay, Katie.
Thank
Take
you.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you guys hear me through
Yeah.
this microphone? Okay. So I didn't really prepare anything formal. I wasn't sure what I should say. I have a little bit of a statement, and thank you, Martha, very much for that introduction. And thank you all for the award. I really appreciate it. It's really nice to be recognized by the City of Calabasas for my work. But I have just something I just want to present a little bit. It's fairly short, but I just want to say, I've met some of you already. As Martha said, I did speak last year or post Woolsey Fire about my project. So I have met some of you. I've met some of you out on the creek, actually. I'm a wildlife ecologist, and I'm working at the National Park Service at Santa Monica Mountains National Recreation Area. I've started there around 10 years ago, and we started talking about reintroducing California red-legged frogs right when I started. I kind of looked back at my notes, and it was only a few months that I was on the job and people started talking to me. And I just want to acknowledge something that Martha said too. Yes, the last frog was actually seen about 50 years ago in Cold Creek, but they were probably wiped out 20, 30, 40 years before that from the rest of the streams. They really, there's just a pocket of them in the Simi Hills. So not quite Simi Valley, but in the Simi Hills. That, as Martha mentioned, we have been using that population to transfer partial egg masses, all permitted with our partners. And so we have taken them to the Santa Barbara Zoo post-fire. We did that one time, but most of the time what we're doing is we're just taking the eggs directly to the stream. And I can answer questions if I have time at the end, but this project is not done by me alone at all, of course. And our partners are Mountains Conservation Recreation Authority, USGS, California State Parks, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the Santa Barbara Zoo, as we mentioned, California Coastal Conservancy and Bay Restoration Commission. I've gotten grant money from the Park Service and from the Coastal Conservancy and from state parks and various other things. But it's a very sort of run on a budget shoestring with a lot of volunteer partners that have to get training and permitting to work with an endangered species because it is listed under the Endangered Species Act. We started to introduce the frogs to the Santa Monica Mountains in 2014. It's been basically, there haven't been any setbacks to the project until the Woolsey Fire. And the Woolsey Fire was a huge setback for the project. It burned all of my sites, including the source population site in the Simi Hills. The good news is that there are frogs that have survived in all of the sites. We know that they're there. There's just no breeding habitat left, which is what, in most of the sites, there's actually two sites that are doing fine, 3 are not. But as Martha said, they mudslide, water comes and after a fire and mud goes into their habitat and they need pools to breed in. So we have frogs that have survived. We just need to make sure that hopefully it'll rain for the next few years and scour out those pools and they'll have breeding habitat in the future. But so although they survived in the sites, we continue to adapt our strategy in light of the fire for future stuff. I just wanted to say something about conservation. You guys have, I know that that's one of your parts of your mission statement. It's really exciting to see the young people on this council and on the committee here. I think that's going to be a huge, obviously the young people are very important to get excited about these things. I consider the red-legged frog reintroduction project a restoration project. So a restoration project ideally restores the native biodiversity of a place. I think of it as sort of like somewhere where you would plant native plants where there used to be weeds. And you would plant native plants, and in this way you create new natural spaces that would restore the biodiversity of the animals and the plants that use it. These are not manicured parks that we want to create. We want to create wild open spaces where native bees and butterflies and birds and lizards and bobcats and all the way up to mountain lions can return. And so I just wanted to mention that the City of Calabasas owns a portion of the Las Virgenes Creek. It's a very, very, very important creek, especially for California red-legged frogs. And so I think that there have been past efforts to do restorations in the creek, but I would just urge the city that in the future, if you ever wanted to consult with us as local experts in botany, biology, wildlife biology, we have people that are experts on rodenticide poisoning, and we have people at the park that are running the Nature Neighbor program, and we are installing raptor poles and owl boxes in our own park properties. So if you ever, for any reason, would like to reach out to some of us, we could act as experts and help you in any of your restoration projects when it comes to botany, water resources, or wildlife. So please don't hesitate to contact us and create a partnership with us. We are there and experts in the area. And so I guess that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for the award. I'm very appreciative of it. And I hope that the City of Calabasas will continue to strive forward for conservation and creating a better, more natural environment for people and wildlife to coexist. So thank you guys. I don't know if I have time, I could take questions, but if not, I'll just sign off.
You do have time, and I have some questions, so
Okay.
I'll start.
Okay.
Do you do programming, like can you go to the local elementary schools or middle schools and give them some information about what you do and share what you've accomplished?
Well, I generally don't have time for that. That's sort of our education. We have a whole division of education, and they do have school programming, and I've talked with them more like as a consulting scientist. So I don't do programs myself, but we do have programs that are run in the park that have to do with streams and amphibians that the kids really love, actually. So I'm not sure where they actually work though, but I think that they would be interested in having a partnership as well.
Okay, great.
If you don't already, they may already have that. I'm not sure.
When you reintroduce the red-legged frog to the creeks, are they from another area where they're thriving? Is that, and you just transport them? And if so, do you have to be mindful does it have to be like the California environment, or could you reintroduce a red-legged frog from another state into our creek system?
That's a great question. We are lucky enough to have a population of red-legged frogs in the Simi Hills, which is not too far. It's north of the freeway, but it's still in the general area. And we believe that there's genetics that have been done, and we believe that population is as close to what used to be in the Santa Monica Mountains as possible. And so we're moving frogs. The farthest is maybe 8 or 9 miles. It's not very far physically, but it's so far, it's across a freeway, and it's across huge development. So a frog can't get there, but we can take their eggs and we can raise them in the streams. And then over these years, it's been so successful that the egg tadpole metamorph to juvenile to adult. And then in a couple of these places, the adults have started breeding on their own. Luckily, one of the sites didn't get as hit by the Woolsey fire, and that population continues to start to breed on their own. So you could take frogs from other places. We didn't have to, because we wanted to create as historic a reintroduction as we could. And other people that are doing reintroductions of this species, and lots of other amphibians actually, they're using local populations, nearby things, to sort of repopulate these areas that used to have other frogs or whatever they're trying to reintroduce. So we're always very mindful about that. We're trying to recreate sort of a natural biodiversity.
Right. Thank you. Does anyone else have anything to ask?
I would like to display the plaque.
Oh, thank you, Alex. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
I'm going to mail it to Katie tomorrow, and whenever she has time, I invited her to come to the City Hall so we can take a picture of her with the plaque, so we can post it on City.
And I would come if it wasn't for this quarantine that I'm under. So thank you so much. That's so cool. I will display that proudly.
Well, on behalf of the Calabasas Environmental Commission, we appreciate everything that you do. Martha?
Oh, you're muted, Martha.
Martha, you're muted.
Sorry. So I have to tell this anecdote because I know you guys are not on My Next Door Neighbor, and you probably would not have heard about it, but it relates to Katie and the frogs. There was someone who had their child fishing in the stream for the crayfish, and someone observed this and was very upset that they were taking endangered crayfish from the stream. They thought they were lobsters.
Oh, no.
And that they were taking lobsters, and it was going to, you know, and I kid you not, they actually called the police. The police came, not joking, and you know, the officers kind of chuckled, but it was an educational experience because, but I thought it was pretty interesting. Two things. One is it illustrates that the average person in Calabasas may not know much about the streams, and we've got a lot of education to do there because obviously the crayfish problem's been going on for a while. But on the other hand, there were quite a few people who did text in or commented that, hey, those crayfish are bad for the frogs, and so, or the stream. And so the word's getting out, but I just thought it was quite interesting, and I'd love to see the passion that people have, but I would also like to think people aren't going to go to jail for crayfish fishing. We get very wrapped up in all of this, but you know, just so you know.
That's really
interesting.
interesting.
An interesting controversy.
That's really interesting.
30 messages maybe easily.
Oh my gosh. I know I've had people tell me that they watched a crayfish sort of crawl up on the side of the stream and how majestic it was and what a great experience it was to watch this crayfish. And I have to go like, well, I have a choice, you know, should I just keep my mouth shut or should I say, well, they're really invasive and they're very bad for the local amphibians. So I usually take the education.
Also, I think it's worth getting that out.
Yeah.
I tried to encourage that we could have a citywide fishing tournament to get rid of the crayfish.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't go anywhere. I think there were more important things to consider, but I'm still all for the fishing contest. So
yeah, they're pretty tough to get rid of, but we can trap to get the numbers down, and even just getting the numbers down helps the amphibians. So
I do
thank you for sharing that.
Events that local community events where you could help get the crayfish out of the waters. Is that correct?
National Park Service doesn't have anything like that, but Mountains Restoration Trust used to. Yeah, they used to have, and they'd have community events, and they've taken, I don't even know how many hundreds of thousands of crayfish out of Malibu Creek.
Yeah.
Right now, I know that, and you guys might know Debbie Sharpton that used to be with Mountains Restoration Trust, and she's coordinating an effort with another local group, and it's sort of just getting off the ground. It's really just her right now, and she's trying to trap crayfish in the creek below your property, so down in the state parks area. And the crayfish kind of go up and down, and actually it's been a pretty bad 2 years for the crayfish, as it's been a bad 2 years for most of us, but it's been a bad 2 years for the crayfish. And so there's not that many actually right now. So she's trying to do some efforts. But as far as the community efforts, since MRT doesn't do them anymore, I don't know of anyone doing that.
Okay. I did hear about it a little while ago. Well, we want to thank you so much, and we appreciate all the efforts you put into preserving our community, our environment, our endangered species. And I know on behalf of all of us, we're tremendously grateful.
Thank you guys. I'll sign off now, and I really appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, so next on our agenda is the recognition of outgoing student members. And who would first like to make a recognition to Zachary and Noah?
I'll go ahead and start. I think it's been an interesting year, but it's been a pleasure and privilege to work with both of you. Zachary, when I think about you and all you did, it was always like anything we had to stand up for, you would step up. You would be the first one there. And you put in so many hours and time. The forum you were so excited to do, and I'm sorry that didn't work out for you. And Noah, you and all your Roots and Shoots effort, trail effort, and the Mayor's Monarch Pledge, it was inspiring to watch you inspire us all. So thank you for everything and good luck. I think you are up to great things. And Zachary, I hope you stick around with us for a while. So thank you both.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, I'll speak. I want to say that you both you boys are I think we're such an awesome, just such an incredible addition to the commission. And I think you're both extraordinary young men. Each of you brought so much just availability and a lot of yeses and a lot of action. Like, you guys are not, both of you do not put something on your to-do list like, I'll get to it. You're like, this is what I'm doing. Like, you're action-based young men, and I find it so inspiring. I'm so touched, all the stuff you've done with Roots and Shoots at your school and trying to shift some of the habits and mindsets of the people at Calabasas High School. It's really awesome. Zachary, I do hope you stick around. I think you're just an incredible asset to the commission. And Noah, I'll just never forget, like, I just think you're such a neat young man. And I'm so excited to know what you do in the future.
Philip has raised hand.
Okay, Philip?
Yeah, you know, I haven't known the two of you for too long, but I can say just in the short time that I have known, I've been quite impressed with the maturity and the tenacity that you've come to the council. I'm assuming that you reflect that in your schoolwork and in your home life as well. And, you know, now's not the easiest time, I'm sure, to be a high schooler or somebody in the, you know, in the adolescence kind of becoming a man. And so I encourage you to continue forward with, you know, the traits and the values that you have, because it's been inspiring. You know, I have two young boys, and, you know, when I watch you guys, I certainly could cherry pick, I think, all the positive things that I see from the two of you and try to, you know, force that upon them. So, you know, it's been a pleasure, and I wish you guys all the best.
Okay. So Alex, do we
If
just
Noah or Zach want to say anything, or they can say it at this time.
Yes, Zachary and Noah, would either of you like to say something?
Sure. No, I just wanted to say it's really been an honor sitting on the commission this year, and the year before I helped out with the calendar and the Pumpkin Festival, and it's really such an incredible opportunity and a great platform that we're lucky to have. And I'm grateful to all of you for everything that you've done, and I'm gonna miss you guys, but I'm excited to see what you guys do next.
Great.
Tell us where you are going from here, this point on.
I'm going to UC Santa Barbara.
Woo, woo. All right, Zachary, what do you have to say?
Well, I just want to thank you guys so much. It's been an amazing year. It's been a lot of fun going to the different events and helping out, you know, with the Pumpkin Festival and, you know, Arbor Day planting. It's just a lot of fun to see the community involved. And I'm going to save a lot of what I want to say for the interview, but I just want to let you guys know that I want to be a more active role in the anticoagulant rodenticide subcommittee specifically. You know, I've really taken on that. Like, I'm kind of like, I feel like I've been an ambassador to my friends and my family and the school through, you know, giving a presentation and just telling my friends about it. If I see it, I'll tell them what it is and why it's bad. And I just want to further educate the community about that. So I just want to thank you guys. It's been an amazing year.
Thank you. Okay. So now we move to the interview of our candidates and selection for our student members.
So we have three candidates that have joined us, Nick Lee Roll, Jessica Cohen, and Zach. We had another application, but that person didn't show up. So we can start with the three present applicants.
Okay, great. So why don't we start with Nick?
Hi.
Welcome, Nick.
Hi, thank you.
So tell us why you want to be a student member.
What's that, Alex?
Oh, he needs to, we start with a statement, so he can start reading his statement and then we can ask questions.
Yeah, great. Nick, would you like to read your statement and then we can ask you some questions?
Oh, okay. So I would like to be a student member because I've really cared about the environment my entire life. And I especially noticed like lots of changes in the environment and the wildlife and stuff when I go visit my father in Idaho, because he lives sort of in the middle of the woods. And every year I notice there's like less snow in the winter and it's hotter in the summer, and there's like less deer we see. And then just around here, even when I go on walks around, I see like was mentioned earlier, dead rats and lots of other things I feel like I could help change and make better.
Thank you, Nick. I really appreciate that. I think it's really quite exceptional that you're so aware of your environment and noticing the changes in the landscapes and the places that you, whether it's Idaho, is that where you said?
Yeah.
Or in our local communities, definitely it's noticeable when you take notice. And I think that's very interesting that you've been aware of that. So thank you.
Any questions for Nick?
Does anybody have any questions for Nick? And if so, can you raise your hand and I'll call on you? Okay. So, Nick, what grade are you going into?
12th grade.
12th grade at Calabasas High School?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Beth has a question. So Beth, unmute yourself.
Hi, Nick. Thanks for coming. I was wondering, you mentioned two things, kind of like global warming and environmental changing, and then animals and those issues we're facing locally in our city. Do you feel strongly more about one or the other? Or are you kind of interested in finding your way? Have you done anything like in the past that's like really your specialty or your passion?
Okay, thank you. I think I kind of like, I feel more passionate about like climate change, global warming, but I have in the past, like, I worked actually with Noah Weiss in the Roots and Shoots Club, helping clean up the senior trail at Calabasas and like planting in the new plants and picking up all the trash.
Great. I believe that was a community effort, so I'm sure Noah appreciates all the people that showed up on that day to help clean up that area. Thank you so much for your application.
Thank you.
I didn't even know I was speaking. Okay, so Nick, thank you for sharing with us about who you are and what you're up to. And Jessica, we'd love to hear about you and what you could do for the commission.
Hi, my name is Jessica Cohen, and I'm a senior at Calabasas High School. I've always been very passionate about helping the environment and preserving the habitat in which we live. And I've also been very fascinated by the animal kingdom, especially in the oceans. And I hope one day to become a marine biologist and environmental activist. I've recently taken many opportunities to learn about the environment and do my part in saving it. So these include attending summer programs such as Sea Camp San Diego, which focuses on marine ecosystems and preserving them, and also the Global Leadership Adventure Environmental Volunteer Program in the Galapagos Islands, where we work to restore the natural habitat for endemic species, including the giant tortoise. And I learned about the massive efforts underway in the Galapagos to conserve the environment, some of which I think could be applied in our community. And at home, I try to educate and encourage my friends and family to conserve water, eliminate single-use plastics, and greatly reduce the amount of waste we use by leveraging reusable water bottles, containers, straws, and cloths. And I'd like to serve on the Environmental Commission because I want to continue to give back to my community, which has always been very important to me, and to help play a part in saving the planet. This will help fulfill my passion for the nature and further my interest in environmental activism, as well as help educate others around me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions for Jessica? Well, I do. Okay, Beth, go ahead.
Okay, I saw on your application that you started the No Dogs, chapter of No Dogs Left Behind at Calabasas High. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, so No Dogs Left Behind is an organization that's based in the US and in China, and they save dogs from the meat trade in specifically China. And they'll save them, they rehabilitate them there, and then they send them out to get adopted in the US. And so I started the first chapter at my high school, and we've worked a lot in the last 2 years to raise money to help both the efforts to shut down slaughterhouses and to rehabilitate and send them out here.
Okay, that's very impressive. How long were you at your camp in the Galapagos?
So that was a 2-week program. And so we spent, I think, 4 days working specifically on the tortoise project, where we cleared out invasive species of trees and planted endemic species in specifically a tortoise reserve. And then we spent the rest of the time learning about the habitat and the other conservation efforts that they're doing there.
Wow, that's very, very incredible opportunity. Julie, what would you like to say?
Hi, Jessica. Can you tell me more about what you have done personally about limiting single-use plastics?
Yeah, so I've primarily educated friends and family and like extended family about the dangers of single-use plastics and other wastes on the environment. And I hope to have an even broader reach. I've been trying to find ways of doing that within the community. And I, like at my own home, we've eliminated almost all the waste we used by implementing like reusable cloths and like little silverware packs that we take everywhere and other things like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I appreciate both of you applying, and I hope that you both understand that there's 2 positions. Oh, Zachary, it's your turn, right? Okay, so now for Zachary, let's hear what you have to say.
All right, I prepared a little speech for you. So good evening, everyone. I'm happy that we were able to meet to give this year some sense of closure, as well as to prepare for the coming year. Now more than ever, we all need to take active roles in our community, and I'm happy to say that I've been an active member of the Environmental Commission. Also, I recently went to a protest right here in Calabasas to honor George Floyd and others that have been killed just because of the color of their skin, and it's great to see the youth coming together because they are the future. Therefore, I'm happy to have been given the opportunity so early in my career to be a change maker in the community. As you all know, I'm now a junior at Calabasas High School, and I've gotten straight A's in both honors and AP courses thus far. Before CHS, I attended Bay Laurel Elementary School and AC Stell Middle School, and at AC Stell, I received the departmental awards for both math and social studies. At Calabasas High School, I'm part of the Honor Society, and this year I also got the Golden Coyote Award for 100+ hours of volunteer work, many of which were done through Roots and Shoots at Calabasas High School. And then for the past 2 years, I've played for the Calabasas High School soccer team, and I'm proud to say that just recently in March, I ran the 2020 LA Marathon in 5 hours, 2 minutes. I decided to run it after volunteering at a water station last year, and I wanted to really just push myself to see what I was capable of doing. I like to stay informed about current events, both nationally and globally. After seeing politicians make harmful decisions about our environment, I realized that I'm passionate about nature and have a desire to make a difference. I want to make sure my generation and future generations will continue to enjoy all that nature has to offer, and I understand that in order to do so, I need to take an active role in the community. As a result, over the years, I have ensured that my family has been involved in the city's environmental programs. Years before joining the Environmental Commission, I had been speaking with David Cohen, a former commissioner for this commission, who really sparked my interest in helping the community. He was one of the reasons I ran last year. Since joining the commission, I'm proud to say that I've stepped up and have become even more active in environmental work. For instance, through the commission this past year, I manned the booth at the Pumpkin Festival. served on the subcommittee to create an environmental forum, was able to pick the winners of the Calabasas Recycling Drawing Contest for the calendar, and to help plant at Baylor Elementary for Arbor Day. Additionally, through the City of Calabasas, I'm a board member of the Mayor's Youth Council, of which I'm on the environmental subcommittee. This is a great organization that actually started this year due to the contributions of William Fritz, Martha's son, and Darian Zade, along with former Mayor David Shapiro. It's a great organization that is allowing the voices of the youth in our city to be heard. I have also taken active role as an environmental leader at Las Virgenes Unified School District. This year, I served as the vice president for the Roots and Shoots Club at Calabasas High School, of which Noah Weiss was the president. We got so much done, including passing the Mayor's Monarch Pledge after communicating with City Council. This pledge worked to protect the monarch butterflies as their population has declined by about 90% in the last 20 years. And we were even able to plant milkweed, a favorite of the monarchs, on CHS's campus. During Earth Week, as Noah said, we threw a virtual Earth Week in which we got students to post pictures about nature and vegan recipes, and I gave a presentation about anticoagulant rodenticides. And then, of course, the club is most proud of the beautification of the senior trail, which serves to connect the parking lot with the school. I would like to thank Howard Schwartz, Whitney's husband, for serving as a mentor and instrumental force in completing the project. We picked up trash, installed irrigation, and were able to plant native fauna that eventually allowed CHS to become a National Wildlife Federation certified wildlife habitat. And then next year, hopefully as president of the Roots and Shoots Club, I will continue to improve CHS's environmental impact. We are already working on installing an owl box on the senior trail, which will serve as a natural rodent repellent instead of having to use anticoagulant rodenticides. And we will continue spreading environmental awareness across campus. And then in addition to Roots and Shoots, I'm a member of LVSD's Climate Action Leadership Program, or CALP, led by Victoria Charles, a professor of sustainability. We are working on compiling a sustainability report for LVSD and creating programs to get the younger students of LVSD interested in and conscious about the environment. I'm excited to see what next year has in store if I continue to be a student commissioner for the Environmental Commission. I intend to learn from our past mistakes as well as from our past triumphs in order to make next year even more successful. From learning about proper booth placement at the Pumpkin Festival to making sure we plan ahead for events such as the Environmental Forum, next year we'll reflect on what we have learned. Also, I know that many of our previous events, especially those at the beginning of the year, may need to be canceled due to the coronavirus, but this just means that we will need to be more creative in how we get the city involved, and I'm up for that challenge. I hope that events such as the Recycling Drawing Contest and Environmental Forum will continue virtually, and we can make our themes relevant to social distancing. For instance, we can make the forum about how to care about the environment and sustainability while stuck at home, and we can give the calendar contest a similar theme. Whatever the case, I know that next year will be even more successful as we continue to preserve and protect our community. Thank you so much for giving me this time, and I'm excited to see what we'll get to work on together as part of the Environmental Commission in the coming months and years.
Thank you, Zachary. What an awesome speech. Do any of the commissioners have any questions? Okay, Philip?
Zachary, how do you get all your schoolwork done when you're involved in so many organizations?
Yeah, it's hard, but I think I've cultivated my time management skills throughout the past year. You know, I keep a schedule, a calendar. I get my work done as soon as possible, as soon as I get it, so that I can really focus on the organizations that I want to be involved in, including the commission.
Good for you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Martha, go ahead.
Zachary, I'm going to ask you a hard question. Since you've been on here for a while. What do you think the biggest accomplishment is in the city of Calabasas with regard to the environment?
Right now, I would think the biggest contribution is our elimination of plastics, including utensils and straws. You know, plastics are a major harm to the environment. It takes forever for them to decompose and go away. And I really think that Calabasas is a forerunner in getting rid of plastics. We also, got rid of smoking a while back. So I would definitely think plastics is our major accomplishment. I hope to follow that up with rodenticides and continue to just spread awareness so that we can virtually eliminate them in Calabasas.
Okay, great.
Well, thanks for that answer. I will email you with follow-up, but I don't want to take time here.
All right.
Okay, so thank you very much, Zachary. I really appreciate all the work you've put into the commission so far. I think you're tremendous. You've been a tremendous asset, and we've all really enjoyed your contributions. So on that note, I believe that we will all be voting privately to Alex. So if you can all hold on. The non-student commissioners will be letting Alex know our vote.
Yeah, just send me your vote via chat, then I will announce the results.
And everybody who's voting, please make sure that you're only sending it to Alex, not the entire group.
Yes, I've already received Julie's and Beth votes. I need 3 more. Martha just voted in. I need 2 more. Philip just voted, yes. And Whitney, great. So the vote is unanimous. Zach and Jessica will be our new student members for the new coming year. And I will announce it to the media department communications to update the website. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nick, I hope you know that there are so many ways, even Jessica and Zach, as he has said, there are so many ways to be involved with the city that really make a big difference in who you are as a community member. And just know that the commission is here to provide you any ideas on ways to get involved. Okay, so next on our, Nick, did you want to say something?
No, sorry. I was just gonna say, thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. So the student, Jessica and Nick, you can stay, but you also could sign out for the last agenda item. So next on our agenda item is selection of chair and vice chair. And Alex, I do not know exactly what to say.
Oh, we need to have a nomination for the chair. The nomination must be accepted by whoever is being nominated. And then we need to second that motion, to have a motion, second the motion, any discussion, and then take the vote. First, let's start with the chair position.
Okay, Julie, did you have something to say?
Yes, I wanted to make a motion that we nominate Beth Jagtiani as the chair for next year.
Any second?
Martha?
I'd like to second that motion.
Okay.
Motion?
Third?
Any discussion or?
I would like to just say that I thought, well, I'm pleased with both Whitney and Beth's participation and Philip, of course, as new members. It's been a very difficult year for the Environmental Commission to function properly. And you guys came on and were novices, and you took it on, and basically we threw a lot in your laps, and you took it on and ran with it. And I think you've now come into your own. And I appreciate your call to leadership at this time. And I think there are many good years ahead of your service. So Beth, I would like to see you stay in the position you're at, and I would like to recommend you to Mayor Weintraub as her new appointee to the Environmental Commission, because I know Fred is no longer going to be able to do that.
Beth, do you accept the nomination?
Thank you. I do accept the nomination. I've been pleased to work with Whitney as her vice chair, and I feel like I've learned a lot from her. So I'm excited to step up. Thank you for the nomination.
So we can take a vote.
Okay. Oh, so, okay.
Is this a verbal vote?
Yeah. Do I vote? I'm not sure either.
Yes, a verbal vote, yes.
Okay.
Beth is chair.
Aye.
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 Okay. All in favor of the four of us?
Any nays?
Does any naysayers?
No?
Okay.
So 5 in favor? Great, congratulations.
So
Congratulations.
The second vote is for the vice chair. We need a nomination and a second.
Julie?
Okay, I would like to nominate Philip Cardona. I'd like to make a motion to nominate Philip Cardona as the vice chair for next year.
Any second?
I will second that if would like that nomination.
Any discussion?
Anybody opposed for that?
Philip, do you accept the
Well,
nomination?
I would support that nomination based on the concept that I think it's important for all commissioners to take a leadership role so that they understand how the protocols work. And even though we haven't had a proper year in terms of having, meetings that are productive and in proper protocol, I think Whitney has had some experience, and it would be nice if Philip could also have some experience. So I would support that nomination.
Philip, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Great.
Okay, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any naysayers? Anybody opposed? Okay, great. So approved. So
Thank you, congratulations.
okay, so on that note, I believe this concludes the Environmental Commission. Alex, what shall we expect next?
We are gonna, the next meeting is gonna be in September. I will announce it a few weeks prior to the meeting. I will send the meeting agenda to the chair and vice chair for them to review it and then announce it to the full Environmental Commission. Hopefully we can meet in person, but if not, we will continue with the Zoom meeting.
And we can do subcommittees, yes, Alex?
Yes, we can continue. Subcommittees can always meet and discuss, and it doesn't have to be on the agenda or it doesn't have to follow.
Because I remember before last summer, we said, let's not let the summer get away from us. Let's keep
Right.
doing
The commissioners can meet as subcommittee either in person, but with social distancing and or through Zoom.
Okay, so let's all hope that the country heals itself and we could all meet in person the next time. Congratulations to Zachary and to Jessica. Incredible change makers. Thank you to Noah for everything that you've contributed to the commission and to the community. I remember your first application talking about your succulents at your bar mitzvah, and I thought you were worthy of that nomination then, and you persisted, and persistence is everything. And congratulations and enjoy your time in Santa Barbara. Everybody have a great summer, and I look forward to seeing you all and talking to you all soon.